As I know, you've been involved with the INFOMAR program from the very beginning, so tell us a few words like how it all came about.
Back in 1999, there was a proposal put to government, and it succeeded, and it was funded to the tune of 20.7 million punts at the time. And it was called the Irish National Seabed Survey. And that was updated eventually into the INFOMAR project. It rolled into it after 10 years.
But like INSS, Irish National Seabed Survey, mapped the outer waters from
the outer waters.
Meter depth. But like, what's the initial plan to actually map the inshore area as well?
The whole thing.
So it was assumed that within that budget everything will be mapped, but then you realize this is impossible.
In the very first meetings, we're now in 2018 and the whole thing has changed, the emphasis. But back then in 1999, the initial effort was all put into trying to quantify the problem initially, and then to hire in the capability, because Ireland didn't have a national capacity for doing this type of work. So 4 of us went to Canada to look at the best in breed. We went over to UNB, the University of New Brunswick, and we looked at, and they did up a strategic analysis of what you could do given the amount of money, given the different types of water depths. Their analysis, such that it was based on the rudimentary data they were able to get, showed that we would be lucky to do from the 200 metre out to abyssal depths.
If you compare the way the program been run in the first couple of years, 2006-07, to the way it is run now in 2017-18, what are the key differences in terms of fleet, in terms of staffing, in terms of skills of people? Like, do you see any significant differences?
Yeah, there's a phenomenal difference. Initially, from 2005, 2006, 2007, in that era, it was still perceived that we would go on with the same methodology where we would hire in marine capacity. But it became very blatantly and very, very obvious very quickly that a very large part of the funding was being spent where we could build our own internal capacity, and we'd have greater flexibility if we owned the actual hardware. If we owned the hardware and we owned the boats themselves. The fleet has gone from initially one small 7.5 metre rib. There are now there's now 5, 6 vessels of varying capacity. Nothing overly large, the biggest being a 20 metre vessel. Because ostensibly the hardest part of this survey is the inshore, nearshore, where all the activity is, all the insurable responsibility is, all the activity, all of the political influence, all of the structures, construction, it's all happening within that area. So, and it is much more, hydrodynamically, it's the most difficult area of the whole lot to do.
And in terms of skills of the staff which is actually doing the mapping, has there been any significant differences between 10 years ago and present?
Absolutely. There's the thing that makes the INFOMAR project and the INS, well, much the INS, but certainly the INFOMAR stand out, is the continual professional development of the staff that are involved. And everybody does a marine safety at sea course. They do all the various courses to actually make them mariners firstly. Then they fall back on their technical, or what their degree is in. It could be in geology, it could be in computer science, it could be in environmental ecology, it could be in seismics, and they make use, but they have that marine, they need the marine knowledge to be able to utilise their scientific knowledge. You get, the idea previous to that was that we had guys with scientific knowledge and we sent them out on commercial vessels, but we were getting the wrong end of the ship time. Whereas when we have our own vessels and we're able to run the vessels with marine knowledge, because there's a big safety factor involved, the flexibility is phenomenal.